What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk about T2. I want to go over some of the recent developments that's come out about the company itself and what it means for current investors. Before I get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So based on Friday, it did go up 3.81%. 121,000 shares were traded. 604 is the average. A little bit low for volume, but that's kind of the normal case for a Friday. Plus Friday had reduced hours. So kind of justifies that. At the time of doing this video, there has been no recent PR, so the last news came out on November the 3rd, but there was a amended 8K that came out after hours Friday, which 9 times out of 10, any documents submitted to the SEC after hours Friday are negative. And I really do hate to say it, but I have been saying this time and time again on what is coming. So you can even see delisting notice coming next week. So that was 7 days ago. 9 more days, things to know. What are shorts trying to do? This has been the writing on the wall for T2 for the longest time. So based on this amended 8K that came out, it does say right here, in its decision dated July 27, 2023, the NASDAQ listing qualification staff would immediately issue a delisting determination rather than grant the company a grace period to regain compliance with those requirements as otherwise provided by the NASDAQ listing obviously rules. So what that's ultimately saying is if a company is deficient in one of NASDAQ's rules, they would normally be given a grace period to rectify the deficiency. But in this case, because of their previous history with the NASDAQ, they weren't going to be given that grace period anymore. So if they were going to be deficient on one of their rules, they would get immediately a delisting notice. As bad as that sounds, and I've been saying this time and time again, Rule 5550B sub 2, if a company is trading below a 35 mil market cap for 30 consecutive days, then they are breaking one of NASDAQ's rules. And this is one of the most difficult, I guess, rules to try to fix, because if someone is below that $1 bid price rule, yeah, they can always do a reverse stock split to kind of fix the issue, which T2 exactly did do. But in this case, for any company in general to get above 35 mil for a market cap, you need to actually bring the stock price up. You can't do something artificial to really pump it up. And this is where things get very difficult because, for instance, right here it says, on November 20th, 2023, the staff notified the company that it failed to satisfy the minimum 35 mil market cap threshold for the previous 30 consecutive trading days. As a result, no longer satisfied Rule 55B sub 2. In accordance with the terms of the mandatory panel monitor, the staff did not grant the company a grace period, but rather issued a delist determination, which will be stayed if the company exercises its right to appeal the staff's determination, pursuant to the procedure set forth by the NASDAQ Rules 5800 series, by requesting a hearing and paying a non-refundable $20,000 fee. So that is what is going to be next. So T2 is going to pay $20,000 and appeal this. They are going to put forth on kind of their plan to rectify the deficiency. And like I said, this 35 mil market cap is a very difficult one because they just actually have to make their business be worth more. And like I said, you can't really do this artificially. You have to just do the damn job and get it higher. And so ultimately the next steps are that the company is going to request a hearing, which will be set between 30 to 45 days upon that request. But they only do have 7 days to request this. So the fact that they got the actual notice on the 20th, that means by, I guess, Monday, which is the 27th, so 7 days, that is exactly the last day that they have to put forth a request. So if we do not see any news by the 28th that they've requested, let's say, a hearing panel, which will be determined within 30 to 45 days, like I just showed you, then unfortunately they are going to get delisted down to OTC. If you are a current investor of T2, you have to check your broker to see if you can actually even trade any OTC companies. So that's something, part one, what you need to always do. Keep in mind though, on a side note, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence, so just be aware of that. So yes, double check with your broker to ensure that you can trade OTC. And for instance, let's say you have 1,000 shares of T2 right now and it goes down to OTC. Well, in theory, nothing will change. You're still going to have that same 1,000, nothing will change. So again, there's that aspect. But like I said already, this deficiency is very difficult. So the company actually, most likely over this weekend, is going to be really working very hard, ideally, on a plan. to try to rectify this deficiency. But no matter what, like, it has to be something operational, and most likely the only thing that they are going to bring up is just the sale of their new product. So that revolutionary technology, they're just going to say that it's going to be integrated in the market. But they did also cut their, I believe, Q4 future revenue or expectations. I think initially it was around 3.6 and they are saying around 2.4 million, which isn't going to cut it. And plus, aside from that, throughout this time period, it's probably pretty fair to say that they've been diluting to Kingdom Come. So a lot of different things all at play. In my opinion, I do not think that this is going to work and this company is going to go down to OTC, but based on their last earnings call, they might not necessarily be the best on their balance sheet, but they do sound like they have a very good product. So potentially this could be a takeover opportunity. And I'm sure there's a lot of big pharma companies on the sidelines just watching T2 just dwindle down to absolutely nothing. So they could swoop in right before it does get delisted and just take it over, or just wait till it goes to OTC, or potentially even further bankruptcy and just buy it for 1 cent on the dollar. So who knows? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But like I mentioned, if you are a current investor in T2, just contact your broker to ensure that you can trade OTC as a worst case scenario. Most likely, and plus 20,000 isn't really much to a company itself. So most likely what is going to happen is they are going to pay that non-refundable $20,000 fee and set a hearing date. And so by setting a hearing date, it also does stay, so it doesn't kind of proceed with the delisting process. So it kind of keeps them on the NASDAQ temporarily until the actual hearing panel is done. So it'll still continue to trade, so no change for that. And oddly enough, as you can kind of see based on this news, it only went down about 1.71% after hours. But still, no matter what though, I do feel that either a takeover opportunity is coming, or this is just going to go down to OTC, and from there it's just going to, I hate to say it, bankruptcy, because based on their last couple of earnings, they need money. They need to stay in the NASDAQ, and that's exactly the only reason why they did that massive reverse stock split, was to stay in the NASDAQ for liquidity purposes. And they were bold enough to even say that. So let me know your thoughts on that. Again, I wish I could do a little bit more optimistic videos on T2, saying that it's going to be the next big thing and whatever else, but it's been the writing on the wall for a while. So delisting notice coming, been on point with a lot of my videos. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, even though T2 goes up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of these promos. And this one is only up until November the 30th. So sign up for an account with Moonwith, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so take advantage of that. Plus any cash that you do have in this account, you are going to be earning 5.1% APY. So this is a win-win. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.